Hello everyone, this is Dr. Geri Puleo, and I'd like to welcome you to this webinar on how to think outside the box, 4 ways to boost your creativity. So let's begin by asking the question, what exactly is creativity? Well, creativity is comprised of your vision, your imagination, and it's manifested in innovation in the world around you. Creativity is what you do when you break down any boundaries or limitations in order to develop new insights and strategies to the problem. Creativity, therefore, is not just picking something out of the air that's never been done before, but it's really looking at what is holding you back from seeing things in a new way. So let's do this first exercise on creativity. Maybe you've seen this before. Here are the directions. I want you to connect all 9 dots with only 4 lines. Oh, and you can't lift up the pen. Pause the webinar and see if you can figure out how to do this. Did you figure it out? Here is the solution. The solution is outside the box. Many times when we look at a problem, you saw 9 dots. And what most people do is they put boundaries and limitations on their thought processes, thinking that for me to connect all the dots, I have to stay within the lines. We learned that as children. Remember when you were in kindergarten, when you got praise, when you kept inside the lines when you were coloring? Well, the problem with that as an adult is you tend to put blinders on so you don't see possible solutions to problem because you're thinking inside the box and the solution to the problem really is outside. So thinking outside the box finally gives you the permission to color outside the lines. Okay, did that exercise in connecting the dots with 4 lines get your juices flowing? Well, now I'm going to give you another way to help boost your creativity so that you can color outside the lines and think outside the box. Think like a 3-year-old. If you've ever been around 3-year-olds, you know certain things about them. First of all, they are innately curious. They look at everything with fresh eyes because they've never seen these things before. And they explore their environment. They play with things. They touch things. They smell them. They use all of their different senses. And believe it or not, using all of your senses and being curious about a work-related problem can give you brand new insights in terms of how to resolve that problem because you're breaking down your boundaries and limitations. And if you're trying to explain something to a 3-year-old, you need to simplify. In business, we tend to get really caught up with making things more difficult and nuanced and detailed than they really need to be. Well, if you have too many details, even if you love the details, you can get mired in them and not see the big picture. And when you can't see the big picture, you're more likely to limit your creativity to find a solution to the problem. So try to simplify the problem. Take it down to its brass tacks. And to get you started, ask why. Not 1 time, not 2 times, not even 3 times, but instead ask why to every potential answer to your problem 5 times. So if you look for a problem, a solution, come up with a solution. And then say, Why are we doing it that way? And then answer that question. Then ask again, why are we doing it that way? Why, 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 why? The trick is in the 5 levels of why, because that will really get you into looking at the problem. You'll see the nuances, but you won't be mired in the details because you're going to be blasting your assumptions, which lead us to the next one. And that is to smash those assumptions. Now, how do you smash assumptions? Many times we have assumptions about things and we don't even realize that we're assuming certain truths about a situation or a person or an event that really aren't true. So to smash assumptions, first of all, you have to list all of them. And believe it or not, that's the tough part because you really have to look at what it is your thought process is about this particular situation. So list them all down. If you have an assumption that I'll never be a success because I'm female and women always make less than money than men, that's an assumption because there are many women who make more money than men. If you believe that you're never going to be able to be wealthy, why do you think you're not going to be wealthy? List every one of those assumptions. And then, after you've listed them, drop each one of them individually. Smash them. It no longer applies in this situation. And then once you've dropped each one of them individually, group them together in combinations and drop the groups. When you do that, you start looking at things differently because you're asking yourself constantly, what if? If you believe that your gender is the reason why you're not making more money, ask yourself, what if I wasn't a woman? How would I try to make more money? If you're in a career that you're not happy with, ask yourself, what if I totally changed careers? Your assumption might be, well, I've been in this career too long and I can't change careers. Look at your assumptions because when you drop each one of them, either individually or in combination, by asking what if, you're going to get brand new insights into how to resolve the problem. And they're going to be creative ways that you probably never. The 4th way to boost your creativity and try to resolve a particularly difficult issue is stop thinking about it. Okay, now you might be saying, come on, it's too tough. When you're really stressed about a problem, that's all you end up thinking about. So instead, remove yourself from the usual environment surrounding that problem. When I was doing my dissertation, I made a conscientious choice that I would not write the dissertation in my office. Instead, I wrote on my dining room table with my laptop and looked outside the window. It was a shift in framework, a shift in perspective, and believe it or not, just that simple environmental change gave me new insights into the dissertation. Also, focus mindfully on something else, not just sitting in front of a television and vegging and your mind's still on the problem, but instead get actively involved in the program. Now, this might be a little bit easier when it's football season or basketball season, or if you're a sports fan, because you tend to get involved mindfully in what it is. But try to get involved mindfully with something else. And then let it go and forget about it, because the most amazing things about our brains is subconsciously, remember, subconsciously, we're still thinking about it. Even though our conscious mind is looking at something else, the subconscious mind is processing everything. So it's doing all the work and you don't have to stress about it. So when it comes to being creative and thinking outside the box, just have fun so you can let your creative flag fly. And if you want real insights from a very intellectual person on why creativity is so important, listen to what Albert Einstein had to say. The significant problems we faced cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. And by the way, he had a lot of fun too.
Smart Sound.